Welcome to the GLR Adobe campus. In this video, we're going to retouch a photo to remove or to minimize some beauty flaws. These little pimples, for instance, need to be removed completely. And these laughing lines, well, they just need to be minimized to give a natural feeling of this image. And we're going to do this in a non-destructive workflow. So first of all, let's duplicate this layer so we always have our original file in our background. And this layer needs to be named Retouching. So I know what this layer is all about. And let's first focus on removing these little pimples over here. So let's create another new layer, not a duplicate, but just a new empty layer. And let's call this layer Remove. Later on, we will create a new layer called Minimize. So let's take a look at the options over here, which could help me a lot. And I think all these tools over here will do a great job in order to retouch a photo. So let's first focus on the Spot Healing Brush tool. Spot Healing Brush tool will do its magic by searching for pixels around it, pixels and textures actually, in order to magically disappear these pimples. But it doesn't do anything at all, because of the fact that in this new layer is no information at all to stamp or to duplicate, or there's no information at all to do the retouching. So in this case, while selecting this tool, I need to enable select all layers over here. In that way, it will search through all the pixels down below and do its magic in this particular new layer. And now, while selecting the pimple, it will delete it completely. But like I always love to say, in a non-destructive workflow, because all the information of getting rid of these little pimples over here is stored in this layer. So while hiding this layer, it will show all the pimples again. So we have always our original detailed information in the original retouching layer. But in this case, yeah, it works quite wonderful. So let's get rid of what needs to be get rid of. And of course, you can make your own decisions on what you want to delete in your own image. Something over here, I think that will do. So now let's focus on the elements that I would like to minimize in this image, like these laughing lines over here. Like I said, getting rid of them completely doesn't make any sense. It makes it look plastic or something like that. But in this case, I would like to make her a little bit younger. So let's deepen these lines in a new layer. So over here, this is called the minimize layer, or whatever makes sense to you. And let's introduce another tool, and that's the healing brush tool. So the spot healing tool does its magic already just by selecting a set of pixels. In this case, I would need to select an area first with Alt. And if you don't do that, it will give you a warning. So just select a nice set of pixels that are without the laughing lines. So Alt, select this area. And now while dragging over these laughing lines, again, it doesn't do anything because I am in a new layer. So I will need to sample not the current layer, but all layers. And now while holding down the Alt, select an area and dragging over these laughing lines, they will magically disappear. And it's a good habit to every once in a while select a new area with Alt again to make it a more natural look and feel. And probably you will notice that I just said don't remove these lines completely, but as you can see, all these lines are being deleted completely with use of the healing brush. But hopefully you've noticed that we've done all this retouching on this end side in a minimized new layer. So while playing with the opacity, we can make a selection of how much is allowed in this image. So while making it more transparent, these lines will come back again. But as you can see, if you compare the both, if you compare the but as you can see, when you are comparing these eyes on the left hand side, well, it's quite less of a problem. She's younger on the left hand side of the image compared to the right hand side. So while working with an opacity of 55%, we could continue on working on the right hand side um, and see what we can do. And with that ease, you're getting younger by the second. And of course, you can continue on and see how far you want to take it. So this is working with the healing brushes. Quite an interesting workflow. Again, to make this image a little bit more appealing, I would like to whiten the teeth a bit more, but also in a non-destructive workflow. So let's create a new layer to whiten the teeth. And let's fill it with a 50% gray. So I could go to Edit, Fill, and over here from the contents, I could select a 50% gray. So that's a neutral gray, exactly in the middle. And of course, that doesn't make any sense because the teeth aren't white, they are gray right now. Everything is gray. But of course, while going to the blending modes, I could select the overlay. And overlay has no influence on a neutral gray at all. And in order to brighten the teeth, we need to brighten these gray pixels, these 50% gray pixels. And we can do that with the Dodge tool over here. So the Dodge tool brightens pixels. There's also the burn tool, which will darken the pixels. But in this case, I would like to brighten them. So while painting over these pixels over here, we can brighten the teeth by teeth. And don't go too far in coloring the lips as well. This will do the trick. Maybe it's a bit too far over here right now. So let's burn those pixels a bit more. Smaller brush size. There we go. And this is a huge difference, which will be visible when we are hiding this layer. There we go. A little bit less. It's always a good habit to hide those layers and see where we've come from. But this is a way better image, I think, compared to the original image down below. In order to successfully hand in your retouched image, I would like to see the image compared to the original image. So I would like to have the faces side by side. So what we could do is go into the canvas size, and the canvas size allows you to get a bit more pixels. So let's make a width of ×2. Tab 1868 pixels width. Okay, there we go. And now what we could do is create a smart object of all these layers over here. Right click, convert to smart object, and drag her to the right. Of course, we can see the difference quite beautifully right now. Maybe we would like to use some vibrance, make it a bit a warmer image on the right hand side as well. So adjusting the tonal regions of the image. And of course, those are the things that we can do with some adjustment layers over here. So let's make it a bit more vivid image with use of the vibrance. And while holding down the Alt key and hovering over the little area over here, just between the two layers, I can clip this layer to the smart object. And now let's play with a little bit more vibrance, a bit more saturated image, give her a bit more color. And when you're completely happy with your image, save it as a JPEG and upload it to your Spark page.